Hi, I'm Writer Jessica Doyle, and on this week's episode of Coach's Corner, I sat down with boys lacrosse head coach Schmidlkofer to talk about the season so far. How have you seen the lacrosse team, grow over the course of the season so far?
Well, we started off really well. Went to Florida, had a really good, beat two really quality teams there. Then we came back home and dropped one to Fellowship, and they were really good. And we didn't play our best, but they had a lot to do with that. Then we had a game scheduled with Trinity, but Trinity doesn't have a varsity this year, so we had an extra week, and we played Buford this week. And they were really good, and we got off to a slow start and ended up losing by 4. So we've lost the last 2 games, but I mean, so it's really good quality opponents too.
Yeah. So about those 2 losses, how do you kind of take away the positives from that and turn it into more of a win?
Well, we're doing some really good things. I mean, especially defensively, the team, the middies. We have 2 guys that Lucas Hamilton and Will Clem are kind of like our D middies, but everybody like Taylor and Connor and Henry Pettit and Andrew Hamilton, all of them kind of buy into the defense because sometimes they're stuck out there on the field. So our defense is really solid right now. Where we're struggling a little bit is offense, and it always takes a little while to get the offense going, especially against good teams. So we got a lot of guys that can shoot, can catch and shoot, and we just got to get some confidence. We're a little low on confidence right now.
Yeah, and you coach both football and lacrosse, and a lot of those players they do both sports or do dual sports. So how do you think how do you think that the relationship you build with those players over the course of both seasons kind of come into play on the field?
No, I think it's huge. I can name them: Ethan Bramlett, Colton Smith. I'll leave somebody out, but Tanner Vi, Zach Berger, Lathan Hunter, all those guys. That's 5 of them I can think. I think I got like 12 guys that play football, and they kind of know my personality, right? So it kind of transfers into them. They know what I expect, even though the games are totally different. The standard doesn't change, and normally the guys that do play another sport are much more physical and aggressive, and those guys are really aggressive, and you got to be aggressive. Taylor, for example, Ratno, he's another one that plays, so there's a lot of guys that I wish they all played, because I'm a big proponent of 2-sport athletes, but that narrative gets out there that you'll get hurt or whatever, and lacrosse is, you don't have any pads on lacrosse, so those guys get bruised up all the time. So it really transfers over. It really does. The guys, you can tell the guys that play another sport, and especially with the football component of it, because they're just not scared of the physicality.
And how do you think that, kind of shifting topics here, when you're playing a game or you're practicing, how do you think the weather comes into play on that?
No, gosh, our field's like our practice field is, you just never know if we really get over 1.5 inches or 2 inches of rain, we're done. And it's a great field back there. We're fortunate to have our space, but it doesn't drain very well. So we have to be creative. We've went to the girls' field this week. We've been on the stadium field at 6 o'clock. One night we had to practice at 7:15. The guys didn't get home till 9. So, I'm sure there's other schools that go through that too. I mean, we just kind of, that's kind of our motto. Like, one day at a time, whatever it is, we'll attack it and we'll get through it.
Yeah, and previously you told me that you never played lacrosse when you were in high school and everything.
That's right.
So what was kind of your journey into becoming a lacrosse coach?
Well, you got to check your ego at the door. Like, we're all, football. I played football, baseball, basketball, and if you come into a sport that you don't know, because I was assigned to it by the former athletic director, Coach Davis. Then you better, before you open your mouth, you better know what you're talking about. Well, the defensive side and angles and all that stuff, that all carried over from sports. But the caveat of the whole sport is the stick and the stick skills and how to throw it and how to catch it. And that took some time. And then the scheme. But I've had some great coaches. I've had Coach Faso, Coach Gosner, Coach Haskins for 7 years, and now I got a great staff right now with Coach Mutzel, Coach Cheney, and Coach Flowers. So Coach Flowers is kind of in the same boat I was 13 years ago. You know, Coach Chaney has a background. I actually coached Coach Chaney in football in the 9th grade at McIntosh. So then he ended up going and playing a lot of lacrosse. So he's really knowledgeable. So you just got to check your ego at the door. I mean, you learn the sport, and once you learn it, you know, and now I can go out and throw and catch and warm the goalies up and do all that. So I just kind of jumped into it. I mean, you know, I once I got out there, I enjoyed it and I had fun. And then, of course, I enjoyed running my program, and I wanted to see how successful we could be. And so far, so good.
And I'm Writer Jessica Doyle. For more information, visit theprowlernews.org and follow us on social media at SMHS Prowler.